Hi guys, hope you're well and welcome back. Today I'm sharing with you part 2 of our garden renovation. I am so excited. So if you haven't seen part 1, I will link it below and pop it on the top so you can head on over and watch that either before or after you've watched this one. However, we moved into a new build property and the property and the garden was awful. All of last year, for our first year in the property, we had flooding. It was flooding by our back door. We moved in the end of September, middle of September in 2017. And all through that winter we had a lot of severe flooding by our back door. So our garden ran on a gradient, so it ran up towards the back of the garden and up towards the side of the garden. So it was like gradiented like 2 ways, which was awful. And there was a lot of mud and it was just left with like composted topsoil and a few tiny little slabs. So we let the winter run its course, and then last year we started to renovate the garden and it took us a very long time. So we decided to get landscape gardeners in, and that was where you last saw it. So at the end of the last project, at the end of the last video, we had just let the landscape gardeners go. They'd just finished doing the work they'd needed to do, and we were in the process of finalising the last little bits of our garden. Now I was planning to get the landscape gardeners back in to finish off some artificial grass we was planning to lay and stuff like that. However, the prices were just mounting up and it was just so expensive. So we've actually decided to complete the rest of our garden ourselves. So the first step was we needed to point the slabs, and I think halfway through the last video or towards the end of the last video we was pointing the slabs, and that was really super easy to do. We were so surprised how easy it was to do, and we literally just went out, got some like dry powder type stuff. You literally poured it into your holes, brushed it on, and you were basically good to go within a couple of hours. So that was really easy and a really cost-effective way for us to save money on our landscapers doing that. The next thing is we wanted some light on our posts around our garden. And we also needed one for our drive as well. So we went out and we picked up these lamp lights. They were solar lights from B&M, and I was really chuffed with them. They're absolutely stunning. They've got this gorgeous like geometric type look to them, which I'll obviously show you. And we popped them up and they were solar, so you got 4 of them. I think it was for $12.99, so super cost effective. They were really lovely, and I've popped them on all of our posts, and of an evening they look stunning in the garden. I love how they light up our garden and have like little down lights that come in and around the garden, which are just stunning. And then I know I've shown this chair over on my Instagram, but I also got this. It needs to be tightened a little bit at the back, which is why it's swinging the wrong way. But I also got this for the garden. It's like one of those egg nest swing things, and it was from B&M and it was £150. I wanted it last year and I always thought they were out of stock for some reason. Turns out they just keep them out the back. So if you're looking for one of these, B&M is your place, and it's super comfortable as well. So the next thing that we were doing after that is we moved on. So we actually purchased the boys a playhouse. Now if you follow me over on my Instagram, you would have seen the dramas that I had with this. I don't really recommend the company just purely based on the customer service and our deliveries and stuff like that, but I mean, you live and you learn. And if you don't follow me over my Instagram, I will leave my handle on the screen for you. It's Ellis Sara Smith, and I'm over there on a daily basis documenting everything from our gardens to kids and family and travel and just day-to-day stuff. So I'd love for you to come on over and follow me over there. But basically we had a drama. I ordered a playhouse. I went to go and order it, and at the point of ordering it, it wasn't accepting my postcode, and then it did accept my postcode, but the offer codes they had that were valid for like 10% off had run out, and on a playhouse that's like £400 or £500, that's like £40–50. So that run out, and then I had to pay £50 for delivery. And when it eventually was back up and running, I managed to place the order. I ordered the delivery and the date was postponed and it got pushed back, and then the items were delivered and there was a piece missing. And then the day that they arranged for the re-delivery of the item was like a week or 2 later, and Adam had taken time off work that week to put it up whilst the boys were at nursery, so it was done for them. And then that didn't happen. And then the re-delivery, they told me it was going to arrive. I waited in all day and it didn't arrive. And then I phoned them and they was like, oh no, you've got until 8 o'clock, but if not, it's on a 2-day delivery. Yet nowhere on their website does it state that, and the customer service agent admitted this as well. So I then waited in the following day, which was a Saturday, and they never arrived. And when I phoned them, they was like, oh no, the driver broke down last night, we're so sorry, they're not coming. So I then had to wait a further 2 weeks, I think it was, for the part to arrive, because it was basically one of the back panels. So if it was like an internal panel or something small, it wouldn't have necessarily mattered too much, but we couldn't go ahead because we had to put up the back panel of the Playhouse first. So we're basically left not doing much. So eventually when that panel arrived, we managed to put up the Playhouse, and that's been an ongoing thing. It's still not finished yet. It's just been one of those things. They sent me the wrong instructions like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, I just can't really recommend them to you. I will leave them linked below in case you are interested, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that they would be ideal coming from me, but I know that other people have shopped there and not had any problems, so maybe it was just a really bad customer journey and maybe I just got all the problems, I don't know. But yeah, so that was our kind of whole Playhouse saga, and then I started painting it and I tested out a colour. It was called Dusky Gem by Cuprinol, and it was stunning. And I'd painted a swatch onto our fences, which currently have, no, I think we've got Dusky Gem on our fences, and I think it was Cool Marble that I swatched over the top of our fences for our Playhouse, and it was stunning. And so I painted all of our Playhouse with this gorgeous colour. It took loads and loads and loads of paint, and then when it dried up, it's dried up really, really see-through. It definitely needs more coats, but because I'd swatched it on our fence panels, they were obviously darker underneath, so the colour's completely different to what it's come out like on our actual Playhouse. So now I've gone out and bought some more paint, and I'm hoping this is going to do the trick. However, I've damaged my nail. I went to go and open the paint pot yesterday with my hand, and my hand slipped and it pulled off my entire nail. My nail is in so much pain right now. So yeah, I didn't get to see what the paint looks like, but I'm hoping that will work. So this is what we've done so far. I'm really happy with how it looks. I think the boys are happy with it as well at the moment. But yeah, I just got still a lot more to do. I've got no roof or anything like that, but looks like it'll be a really nice space for the boys to play in. You having fun in there? You having fun?
Put the things in.
Okay. And I'm hoping to do like a final garden reveal, garden tour video for you. So when I do that, you will get to find out like the ins and outs of where everything is from and things like that. So that was that issue. The Playhouse is slowly getting there. We still need to like change the doors, and I need to accessorize it. We need to put in the bunk because it's like a double story Playhouse. So I know once it's done, it's gonna look stunning and the boys are going to love it, but it just needs these final bits being completed. I've actually got some really stunning ideas for the Playhouse, and I think once it's up and it's all put together, I just think it's gonna be like a little dream Playhouse for them. So I'm really excited to share that with you. So we then ordered our garden furniture, and it's on a 5-week delivery wait. So I wanted it ages ago and we just never had the money for it at the time, so we couldn't order it, and the garden wasn't finished, so I didn't really want it getting ruined. And then it was on like a 7-day delivery at the time, and now it's 5 weeks, and we've actually got Parker's birthday party that family are coming down for, and I don't think it's going to be here. I think we're going to miss it by like a couple of days, the order being here, which is absolutely gut-wrenching. However, it's also meant to rain, so I don't know if we'll have a barbecue outside in the garden anyways. But yeah, we basically have then got some garden furniture. It's some gorgeous rattan furniture. We had black rattan furniture in the past, but it doesn't really go with the look that I'm going for now. And this one's like proper solid wicker garden furniture, so I'm hoping it'll last a little bit longer than what we've had previously. But that was absolutely stunning. So when that arrives, again, I will show you that in the garden tour. Okay, so since I last shared the update and actually filmed this, our garden furniture randomly arrived the Saturday after filming. So I was so surprised. So this is our garden furniture. It's not set up properly yet. So you'll kind of have to excuse the state of the garden still. It's very messy. And obviously it's been Parker's birthday. So that's all inside. I'm filming this content whilst editing this video as you're watching it. However, this is our garden furniture, and I am so chuffed with it. It is this gorgeous beigey grey colour, which I love, and I think it contrasts against the fences really nicely. Now I haven't got any of the cushions out at the moment because obviously it's been raining and it's non-stop rain at the moment. So they're in the cupboard, and you'll see all of those in the final garden reveal. But I'm obsessed with this. It's a lovely corner suite. It's really big. It comes with 3 stools, which can obviously be a stool or they can be extra seats. So this is plenty big enough for us. And it actually has this really cool feature, and again, this isn't in here at the moment, but you lift this up and inside here is an ice bucket, so you can store like alcohol or cans of soft drink or beers or whatever it may be in there. And another cool feature that I'm not going to do right now because I just don't want to get drenched from all the water on the table, but this actually moves up and down, so this can actually be a low coffee table, which is going to be great for the kids in the daytime, and then of an evening we can make it into a dining table. Now obviously for me, this garden isn't big enough to have both a really nice corner sofa suite and have a separate lounge area as well, without taking up too much of the space for the boys to be able to play. This is all about the boys, this garden, it's all for them. So we've got one that kind of does everything, so we did pay a little bit more for this. It was a little bit more expensive, however in turn we've obviously saved money because we're not buying 2 different units or 2 different pieces. And like I said, ignore the bouncy castle in there, but obviously as you can see, that's how it fits. The table will obviously move up slightly, but Parker bumped his head when we used it the other day, so pushed it right up for the time being. The slabs will go, we're moving the hose and stuff like that. And like I said, you'll see how I'm decorating it all and how it's going to look at the very end in my final garden reveal video. However, after that we then moved on to the artificial grass, and I'm going to be obviously inserting clips the whole way through this video, but the deliberations that I had over artificial grass was ridiculous. I think I ordered samples from like 4 or 5 different companies. I was scrolling through Instagram consistently. I messaged a ton of Instagram accounts asking them about their grass, how durable it was, how long lasting it was. And I actually went off the back of a recommendation from one of my neighbours who actually purchased her grass last year, and she said that it's done amazing. So the company that we ended up using for our grass was Grass Direct, and I cannot recommend them enough, and their grass samples are amazing. I think I had like 15 or 16 different grass samples come through. It was ridiculous. I had so many. Okay, so we're now on the next part of our garden, which is figuring out what type of grass we want. And if you followed me over on Instagram, and I'll leave all my handles on the screen for you, you will know I have struggled with this bit. I have been deliberating which grass I want. I've been finding it really tough because I don't necessarily want anything too dark. I also don't want anything that's extremely light. So basically I've been struggling, and these are all the grass samples that I've actually ordered. Now I've also ordered grass samples from 3 other companies. However, we've actually set our hearts on a grass from Grass Direct. Now their customer service is absolutely amazing, and they have so many different varieties in grass, and they have lots of different lengths. You've got this one here, which is a 40mm length. This one here is Cape Verde. I've actually labelled this one up because I use this on my Instagram. And you've got this one here, which is Barcelona, which is a 40. And then you've also got some shorter ones like this one here, which is the Porto, and it's a 30mm. Now they've actually given me so much help when it comes to deliberating which grass I wanted. Their customer service is above and beyond, from helping me with what like the grass weight means on here, and also what the softness rating and the wear rating and the different lengths and things like that, and also like what their most natural ones are and all things like that. They have really helpful fitting guides on their website which tell you how to fit everything, and they are what we ended up using because we fit the grass ourselves, and I'm so glad that we did. We were basically getting quotes for £1,000 to fit the grass, and that was with us supplying it, so on top of the money that we'd paid for our grass. And we picked a grass that had a 40mm, I'm sure it was a 40mm pile. It was called the Barcelona. Let me check it out. Yeah, so we ordered the Barcelona, and it's a 40mm, which is kind of like a luxury pile. It feels amazing underfoot, and I love the colour of it as well. I didn't want anything too dark. I didn't want anything too light. I wanted the density to be good so it felt plush underfoot and not too small and flimsy. And I just really struggled to find something that I knew would be perfect, and I didn't want to make the wrong decision because it's such a lot of money to be forking out. But knowing that my neighbour had gone with them kind of gave me the confidence, and so many other people over on Instagram that had gone with them. So I will link their information below because I cannot recommend them enough for customer service and stuff like that. So we decided on the grass Barcelona, and a lovely lady that I speak to over on Instagram actually went for this type of grass, and she has purchased it from Grass Direct, and one of my subscribers and followers, and her grass looked amazing. And there was a couple that we were deliberating between. So we loved the look of one called Cape Verde, but it was like a little bit thinner and quite tall. And then we also liked the look of one called Madrid, but it looked like a really like lighter green as opposed to a little bit more darker. And it's very, very much down to your personal preference. And they always have offers on as well, so keep your eyes open, because I just popped on the website and our grass is currently on offer and it's got like £3 off a square metre. So we decided to do it ourselves and use their fitting guides, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad we did. It was super easy. It was very time consuming but very easy. So first of all, we built like a surround timber frame, and this was so we could secure our grass to it. Obviously it depends what you're laying your grass on, but we knew that we needed a surround for ours. So we went and bought some timber. Okay, so this is what we've done with the base so far. So we're starting to build this timber frame all the way around the edge here, and we're going to have it going the whole way around, and then obviously we're going to fill the middle. But as you can see, we've got like more hardcore that we're going to need to level it off. But we just picked up, I think these are called CLS boards, I think. So we picked up some of these, and basically that's what we're using to make our timber frames, with some stakes like this. I've watched so many different YouTube videos, so I feel like I'm a bit of a pro. And we're obviously just working our way around this edge now, and then the back bit's kind of going to be the easiest bit, but we're going to need to dig out some stuff towards the back, I think, to make sure it's all level. We also picked up some stakes and we hammered them into the ground so we could secure like the timber frame to them, and they were in place securely. However, along our back wall, the clay underneath was so thick we couldn't get the stakes through, so that we then had to drill directly into the wall to get them secure and into place. And we had to obviously make sure it was all level with a tiny bit of a gradient so that it would run forward. So we did that. Then we ordered some more hardcore and some sand. So we needed a good solid base to help with drainage and to level everything off. So we ordered tons of hardcore and we leveled off our underneath base. Okay, so I was working all day yesterday compacting this, and then Adam yesterday evening came home and we worked on completely leveling this all out. So we went through a whole ton's worth of hardcore to level out what we've got, and obviously we've drastically brought up all of this to make it level, and we now have around 2 tons worth of sand. I'll go show you. This is obviously the first wheelbarrow, but here's our grass down here. You can see like a little sneak peek. And so as you can see, we've gone for a whole ton's worth of hardcore. Like I said, we've got 2 tons worth of just this sharp sand, and this sharp sand's going to go on top now. It's very windy, it's raining loads, which is a bit of a nightmare, but it's fine. We're adamant to get this done, and yeah, now it's just a case of topping all of this up with sand. I can't believe how easy this has been though. We tried to level it using, has he taken them all out? No, he hasn't. He's taken them out now. But basically I popped some screws in here. I don't know how well you can see that. There's some screws and it's attached to some thread. And we basically was pulling these all the way across the garden, and we used, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it now. We used this. This is called a line level. I never knew these things existed, and this is how you could either, well, basically make things level, and you attach this to your piece of string and then you know if your line's level. So we've done that so we could really see where we needed to level, and we did that all around the garden at different points. And yeah, now this was our surround that we built. It was really easy to do. In some areas we've directly drilled it into the brick, but ideally, if you can, we just put them in with wooden stakes and drilled in the stakes into the wood. So you can probably see over here, obviously we've just drilled that straight into the stakes. But yeah, that was kind of what we would have preferred to do, but down towards the back of the garden the clay mud was so thick we just couldn't do that. But yeah, we're just leaving this here now, and we're going to start leveling the sand, which is so exciting. And then we added sharp sand to it as well, and sharp sand goes on top again to help with drainage and obviously for your surfacing and stuff like that. And then we put on the weed membrane that we got from Grass Direct, and that's obviously to make sure there's no kind of weeds coming through. We knew that we had no grass underneath, that it was all dug right up and it was out, and it was so thick there was no way we were going to get weeds through it, and we already had like some sort of terrain underneath, but we wanted to make sure we were doing it properly, so we still purchased that. So we then laid the membrane down, and then it come on to the matter of the grass, and we got to lay our grass, and it arrived. And I remember I was working up in London, I had a meeting up there, and I remember wanting to be at home, but Adam was at home And so we went out into the garden that weekend and we began laying our grass, and it looks amazing. I'm so chuffed. It's taken us a while because again, we've got 2 kids, we've got no childcare, we're doing it all on our like evenings and stuff like that. So we laid the grass down, and I must mention as well, when we were leveling, we got like string, and we got a string line level to make sure it was all doing what it needed to be doing. And yeah, we laid the grass, and I'm really chuffed with how it's come out and what we've managed to achieve. The grass was really easy. You want to make sure that you're running it the right way, so when you're looking at it, you're looking into the pile. So we made sure we'd done all that, and then we cut it all, we trimmed it all, we did all the adhesive joins with their joining tape. And now we're currently on the stage where Adam's been nailing it all into place, and it looks amazing. I'm so chuffed with it. And so now that we've done that, the next step is obviously we then had to lay some sand on top, and this is optional. You don't have to do it, but it helps the pile stand up and last a little bit longer, and it weights the grass down as well. So we've decided to go ahead with that. So we laid kiln drying sand on the very top. And so this is the final result of the grass. I am so happy. It looks so natural, so real. I'm so impressed with what me and Adam have managed to achieve. I love it. It feels so good underfoot as well. It feels so good. I've just got to have this bit finished here, but because of this also going to be a slate top around here, which I'll explain in a bit. Obviously that bit's not finished just yet because it's going to be going back a little bit further in there, but I just love it. The boys have been out here playing already and they are obsessed as well, so I'm really chuffed. I would 100% recommend doing it yourself if you can, because not only do you save a ton, but I mean, look how great that looks. I'm just so chuffed with how this garden's turned out, and the grass is just amazing. Yeah, minus finishing the flower beds and a few other bits. It's looking so good. And then the very last bit that we need before you see like the final garden reveal is that we're actually having all of our walls changed. So our white render walls have all cracked on the top. Within a matter of a week or so, they cracked, and our landscaper come back and he couldn't quite fathom why it had happened, because it wasn't just like on the front where potentially the kids could have walked on it, but they weren't outside at that point in time when it was done back in February, March time, because it's still really bad weather. But they've all cracked, so we're now having like a grey slate put on top, which I was thinking about doing the first time, but just thought it might be more cost effective, and I like the look of the white and the slickness of the white. But now we've decided we're going to do that. So that's going to be changing. Obviously we've got to finish the playhouse. We've also put an outdoor light up. This was so affordable. It was from Wilkinson's. It's £17 and it looks amazing and I love it. And I also might not have shared with you as well that we've now got a garden awning up as well. This has been life-changing. So I didn't really want a parasol because I was worried that it might fall on the boys and topple on top of them, and if it's windy it might blow over. So I purchased an awning. I was going to pick one up last year and we picked one up this year, and my neighbours very kindly helped us put it up because there was no way I could carry something like that, and our family aren't down here to help us either, so they kindly helped us put it up. And it basically covers our entire back doors. We've got like 4 as such, so like 2 doors and 2 lots of windows, and the sun comes beaming in where we're south facing and it's so hot. And if we literally just push out the awning, it keeps the entire living room cool, but also gives us a really nice sheltered area over where our garden furniture will be going. So I love that, and I'll leave that link down below for you because I just purchased it off eBay. It was really cheap and affordable. There are ones on like Wayfair and stuff like that. They're a lot more expensive, but this one from eBay was perfect. So we also got up our garden awning, and I don't really think I have too much else to update you on. I think that's kind of where we're up to on the garden at the moment. We've obviously got to do all the final decorational bits, so there are still some like things that I want to put up and decorate with. We've got to do all of our flower beds, but the cost of the trees that I want are costing a fortune, and I didn't realise that they cost as much money, so it's just going to be a work in progress. These things don't happen overnight, and this will have been 2 years in September that we won't have had a garden for. But the fact the garden is now usable for the boys makes my heart so happy. They have loved being out in the garden, and I'll pop up a little picture, but there was a picture of Parker and he was riding his little seesaw that I popped on Instagram, and it made me so happy that he got to enjoy a garden, because that's something that he's never had in his whole lifetime with us. So that was really lovely. And it's just so much fun now being able to go out there and play with the boys. The next step that we may potentially get also is a glass balustrade. We didn't initially anticipate our garden being as high as it is, but due to having like pipes underneath and then not wanting to excavate too much as well and wanting to have it the same level, we kind of had to stop at that height. And it basically means that it's quite high for the boys, which I'm not too happy with, but it was kind of, that was what we was working with. We didn't really have much choice. So we may get some glass balustrades, but we were getting quotes for like £2,000 for just that top area, which is a lot of money again. And the boys seem to be okay at the moment. They don't seem to be getting too close to the edge and stuff like that, but I do wonder if the more confident they get out there and the more they're out there, if they'll just get a bit silly with it and a bit clumsy. So that may be something we look into. And we're also going to look to replace our fences on our, as you look out, it's like our right hand side as well, and we've spoken to our neighbours about that because they are really, really low and we both have step ups in our garden, and yeah, it's just not a lot of privacy. But that is where we're up to, and I'm super chuffed with what we've managed to achieve so far. I'm deliberating whether I paint my back wall or do something with my back wall, but I'm not too sure because of how it runs and how it connects with our neighbours and how visible it is. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed seeing this renovation process. It has been a lot of work, a long time coming, a lot of hours have gone into it, a lot of money has gone into it, and there's been a lot of saving, but I'm really happy with how it came up with. If there's anything you want to know about our garden renovation, from paint colours to grass or anything else, then be sure to leave a comment below and I'll come back to you and answer all your questions. But I just can't wait to share with you the garden tour now and the final reveal. That will probably be in another month or so because everything's going to take time. But I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all again in another video very shortly. Bye guys!
Somewhere deep in my mind, see the barbed wire. The place is grown all wide, 'cause I don't know if it'll be enough, or if they really care. There's a stairway down for the both of us, but let's not go there. You got me thinking, whoa, telling you, pack up your suitcase, we'll find a new place. We'll cross the border, can't stay no longer in this town. Somehow in this small place, minds begin to shrink when everyone is too fake. Your hope eventually sinks, 'cause I don't know if